Okay, my assignment was to go back and watch all my Stripe videos that I've made so far with the new understanding about what I'm supposed to do with the form. And that's what I did, and my conclusions and tasks, which I came up based on watching those videos, are the content of this video. The documentation is a bit cryptic, and I'm talking about the Stripe documentation. The single-use token is what I'm focusing on right now. Single-use token. The single-use token is generated by the checkout process. In other words, when a user goes to my website and then clicks on this button here and then clicks pay, okay, and then it redirects, that's the checkout process I'm talking about. That process generates something called the single-use token. As a matter of fact, that single-use token gets sent as a post variable to the page that's being loaded when the checkout form is submitted. And by the way, it is being submitted by checkout.js, which is the JavaScript. It's not actually submitted when the user clicks the button on this page. Okay? This button on this page, when the user clicks on it, is not when the form is submitted, even though this button represents the form on this page. The SUT, and that's how I'm going to refer to the single-use token. The SUT is a byproduct of the JavaScript of the checkout form. The main thing I'm concerned about now is this stuff about sending the SUT with the rest of my form to my server to create the actual charge. I will need to specify the value of the action attribute for the form tag. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, this is my index.php. This is the form, and okay, notice the form action has no value. Okay, so I will need to specify the value of the action attribute for the form tag. By the way, there's some stuff which I did which I didn't document in any video. It should have been the video right before this. And that's related to this. Okay, remember there was an image missing here? Well, I fixed that. And the way I fixed it was by actually putting an image in the root of my web direct, in the root of my web server, in the web root, okay? And then that's the picture that's being referenced by the JavaScript. So right here, where it says image usa.ping, that's a reference to that image on my server. Okay, so that's how I fixed that. Talk about the changes I've made based on info from the link I followed called custom. Okay, go to Stripe documentation. And this is the page we've been studying. All right, down here, it says there's a link here for custom button with our JavaScript API. Actually, I'm not going to be using custom button with their JavaScript API. However, this link did prove useful because when you click on simple here, they tell you basically in more detail a description of the type of form that I'm building, the checkout that I'm doing. It's the simple checkout. And here they tell you like what each one of these represents. And they tell you about what other attributes for the script you can add and what they mean. So based on that information, I added and changed a few things over here. Okay? I'm going to add a text field to the form. This form over here. Button here is part of a form, but this form has no visible input fields. So I'm going to add a text input field to give the user who is funding my company an opportunity to give me a comment. Now, once the form is submitted, and I already talked about how that gets submitted, it's through the JavaScript of Stripe, which is called custom.js on their server. So that JavaScript will submit the form. But once it's submitted, it will be submitting to a PHP script on my server. That script will have in it access to the super global called post. And there will be one element of that post array called Stripe token. And that is how my script will access the single use token, SUT. Here I say the CommonJS causes the form to submit using the value of the form's action. Oh yeah, using the form's action attribute. Remember I said I'm going to need to add an action value here? Okay. And I'll call my PHP script checkout.php. That's the script that will be called by the action of the form. Once I've finished doing the chores associated with this video, I can move on to charge the card. Basically, the code for charging the card will either be in checkout.php or will be in another script which will be reached via this checkout.php script. So either directly or indirectly, this checkout.php is going to cause a charge to the user's card, credit card. That's it.